guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another Project Pan update. Today we have a super fun update to my THOSE eyeshadow series. I started this one last month, so this is going to be our first update with all our progress for the last month. And I'm very excited to share with you that we do have a rollout today, which is super fun. I am very excited. But basically, if you guys haven't seen my first video, I will link it in the cards because I'm doing this a little bit differently this year because I sorted out all my eyeshadows. This was when I was at uni. I sorted out all my eyeshadows that I had there and I categorized them into 3 different categories. We had easy, medium and hard based on how easy, difficult or hard it would be for me to pan them basically and use them every day. So I had more neutral shades and shades I would wear every day in the easy category, and then obviously medium and hard were more difficult and difficult to pan. So obviously this is a little different now. I'm here for the summer as I do not have like such a strong desire to wear like neutral colours. I'm not going to lectures and stuff, you know what I mean, so I don't need to not be wearing bright blue eyeshadow all the time. I mean, there's no dress code, but like I would feel a bit awkward rocking up in like a bright orange cut crease, you know what I mean, it's just like a 9 AM lecture. So I was kind of leaning towards more neutral shades. We're still going to keep going with that easy, medium, hard category just because I do wear neutrals most of the time. I'd say like 65-70% of the time I'm wearing neutral, so it does make more sense for me. And I am now home, so I do have my whole eyeshadow palette collection with me, more than just the 24 palettes I have here. I think I have like nearly 50, I'm not sure, last time I counted. I'm going to keep it just at this selection of 24 at the moment because I am planning on doing a declutter and an inventory later in July, so I will have kind of more updated numbers then. And I thought I'm not going to go through, add all of my eyeshadows to this spreadsheet, organise them all, only to then have to take half of them off, not quite half but like a few of them off and stuff like that. I thought it'd just be a lot more difficult, so I'm just going to keep it as it is for now. This obviously will be technically excluding some palettes that I didn't have with me at uni, but there's still 24 palettes that we can pick from and like hundreds of shades, so I don't think we're going to be too short for progress and options. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight into it really. So I think we'll go from least to most progress. As I mentioned, we have a rollout, which is super fun, but the first shade I have to show you is from my Love Notes palette, and here is what it looked like last month. We were working on the shade Handkerchief and I used this twice this month, and here is what we are looking like now. So you can see here we do have like a tiny dip forming. Again, I only used this 2 times, once on my eyes and I actually used it once as a blush, not today but I used it yesterday and I really enjoyed it that way actually. You can definitely see some good progress marks in here, so I think I'm going to continue to use it as a mix between both an eyeshadow shade and a blush shade. I did really enjoy using it. I've had a great time so far. It's a really pretty shade and I've enjoyed kind of reaching for this palette a little bit more because it's one of my favourite palettes in my collection. There's some really gorgeous shades in here, so yeah, not too bad progress for us. Definitely see a dip in there. This is what the shade looks like here, and I will just swatch it out on my arm so you can see that is what the shade looks like there, just kind of like a true baby pink colour. So that is shade number 1. Then we have the shade from my Beauty Bay New Mood palette. We were working on the shade Blessed and I used this one 7 times this month. Here's what it looked like last month, and you can see here is what it looks like today. So we used it 7 times, but you can't really see quite as much progress in here, funnily enough, as the other one. I'm not too sure why. I don't know whether it's because it's a slightly darker shade, but again, really enjoying this one too. It's just a kind of easy neutral brown colour. I can wear it in my outer corner very easily, so I'm pretty happy to continue working with that one. No issues there. I realised I've swatched it really awkwardly because like you can't really see, but anyway, that's what it looks like. You can kind of see there, that is what the shade looks like. So yeah, a very easy one to also use there. That was one of the easy shades, I believe, and then I believe the pink was in the medium category. So then we had 2 shades from my Beauty Bay Jade palette. So one of these isn't technically going in usage order, but the first shade we had rolled in was Sand Dancer, and I've used this one 5 times this month. It's just this shade here. So this is like a yellowy shimmer shade. I don't actually love it too much. It kind of looks a little bit just like, I don't know what the right word is, I just don't absolutely love the way it looks on the eye. It's not kind of as like glittery and shimmery as I would want it to be. It kind of, I feel like it kind of looks a lot like the way it's swatched on the finger on the eye, so it almost goes a little bit patchy, and I do have sometimes had a little bit of trouble with putting it on the eye. I feel like it's not quite as shimmery as it like first appears. Like it's got a reflectiveness but not like a sparkle to it, if that makes sense. But I have been using it on the inner part of my eye, the inner part of my lid, when I do kind of like a yellowy orangey look, and I have enjoyed the way it looks. So I've used that one 5 times this month, and hopefully we can get some more use for next month. And then finally we have the shade with pan, which is the shade Good Vibes Only. I used this one 10 times this month, and you can see we now have a pan on here, which is super exciting. Pretty solid pan up in the top corner there. Yeah, I just used this one kind of like as a first transition shade for most of my looks, and that is the way that I enjoy to use it and how I got the most use out of it. So very happy to have rolled that one out. That was one of our easy shades, so that does mean that we are going to be rolling in another easy shade. So I have my spreadsheet up here, and there is 114 easy shades on this spreadsheet. Obviously it's not including absolutely all of my palettes, but that's fine, it doesn't really matter, as I mentioned before. So I'm going to randomly generate between the numbers 2, because that's where the spreadsheet actually starts, and what did I say it was, 114, and we are going to randomly generate a number. So that is number 73, so that's not going to be one of my Beauty Bay palettes probably. So that is number 73, which I believe is from my Carly Bybel palette. That's the shade Bowley, if that's how you pronounce it, I'm not too sure. So the shade Bowley, okay, so it's like this kind of satiny shimmer shade here. You can see it there, it's just that first shade in the palette. So yeah, it's kind of like a shimmer, but I don't know how sparkly it actually is. Well, it's definitely very light. This might be like a potential for an inner corner shade. This is what it looks like here. So it's kind of like a taupe, almost kind of blends in with my skin color, kind of like a taupey grey. It has got a really nice reflect on it. It's quite more of a like light shimmer, like a satin. I don't know how you can see. It's not super sparkly, but it is still very pretty. So I'll swatch it alongside the rest of the shades, and that is what it looks like there. So we've got a very fun colour story this month. So obviously we're keeping the first 3 shades, and we've definitely got a very neutral kind of bottom shade there. I definitely think I could put that maybe on the lid. I don't know whether it's going to be too light for my lid, but I will probably also try it in the inner corner. Hopefully it's not too dark for that. But it is a very pretty shade. That is definitely very interesting. I have 2 pans in this palette already in the shade is it Moo here? No, the shade Bear and the shade Moo. So those 2 already have pans, and you can kind of see how deep the pans are. They're not super like easy to hit, but also it is a Anastasia palette, so it shouldn't be too difficult. So yeah, I'm excited to see where we go for next month. I think goals for next month, I am going to try, and not sure if we'll hit pan on this one because I'm not going to be using a targeted brush. I'm going to be using it as a blush probably half the time, so I think we're just going to aim for maybe like 10 uses on this one. Then for the shade Bless, I think we can try for a pan in here, and then the shade Sand Dancer I'm probably going to try for maybe 6 or 7 uses, just because it's quite a bright yellow shade. This one I'm going to try it for 10 uses as well, if we can use it in the inner corner even more, but who knows. So yeah, that is the progress for this update. That is our new roll in. I'm really excited to be doing this project again. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a like down below. You can hit subscribe, turn the bell to join a little club, and then make sure you turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. If you want to watch my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a load linked up in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!